Hey guys, Razor Blade Apple Films here, and today we're going to be doing an overview on my current knife collection. So I'm going to be starting off with the folders, and then I'm going to switch to the fixed blades. So just starting off real fast, we're just going to go over some of the knives that I have in this case that I just keep here that aren't really, well, these two aren't even really knives, but there's some of the cheaper ones we'll start out with first. So the first one I have is just this little utility knife that my girlfriend's dad gave me. Then we've got a straight razor, and this one is a United States Razor Co., which I haven't really been able to find much about it. You can see right there, United States Razor Co., warranted. So if you're interested in getting this one, it is for sale, so message me. Though at the time I'm putting this video on, it'll probably be on eBay. And my eBay name is Snake in a Suit, all one word. Alright, then we have these two little knives. This one is a Gerber. Let's see, I always forget the name of it. A Gerber 400. I don't know if they still make these, but I know these were kind of popular like when I was younger, around the age of like 8 or something like that. This one was my dad's. And then I have a knife very similar, made by Camillus. And this one's the Buckmaster version. You can kind of see on the blade right there, it's really scratched up. And it's made in the USA. And this one's kind of cool. I like this one over the Gerber. Alright, then getting into some of the more traditional knives. I have a classic Buck 110. Sold the original one that I had to get the, got the 50th anniversary edition on Let Go. So that one's pretty cool. And I like this one better than the one I had because the blade retention is like a lot better. It like comes down like all the way from here. Mine, the old one I had didn't really, like, you could have it like right here. If you were careful, it would kind of like stay like that. It had like no retention at all. So I like this one a lot more. I don't know. Maybe the other one I had was just kind of defective in some way. And yeah. This one is in a nylon sheath. I would prefer to have a leather sheath, but I might get that from Buck later. Next one we have is a Buck Prince. I'm going to be doing a review on this one next. A very traditional type of knife. Backlock. It's got really pretty handles. 420HC steel. I do use this one a lot in my computer. Next one we've got is an old timer by Schrade. And this is when they were actually made in the USA. I don't know exactly the year. I could probably look it up by some of the symbols they have on the blade, like Buck, but I haven't really done that yet. Still very sharp, actually. I don't know the steel on this one either. I got this one from my girlfriend's dad, too. So, it's pretty cool. And then getting into some of the more modern folders. I still have my SE Zancudo. I think it's a great knife for the money, only about $30. AUS-8 steel. Still kind of rubbing off right there, but let's see what that is. Made in Taiwan. I think it's a really great knife for the money. If you're like giving someone a gift, it's a pretty good knife to give. I like the Rat one too, but I ended up selling mine, so. Let's see. Oh yeah. Coast LX311, great knife for like $5. It's like a Home Depot knife. I've used this as the most like beater knife. It doesn't stay sharp for long at all, but it's still a really tough knife. It's a really thick blade. Yeah, that one's the Coast LX311. Coast also makes pretty nice, affordable flashlights. Then we have the Kershaw Chill. Don't really know the value of this one. I remember when I got it, it was around $20 at most. It's got G10 handles and HCR 13 MOV steel, made by Kershaw. It's one of the few knives that is not spring assisted, so I really like that. And the flipper works well on it. Alright, next knife we got is the tiny little Kershaw Chive, which I've had this one since I was really young. I was like, I think it was my dad's at first, and he gave it to me, and I remember him having it since I was like, maybe, I don't know, in like 3rd or 4th grade, maybe? Yeah. Kicks out really fast. Action still works, hasn't had to have a changed torsion bar. Really scratched out, but this one's seen a lot of use. I usually keep it on my keys. Tip's kind of rounded off now. But yeah, I really like this knife. Oh, there it is. It says February 06. I don't know. Yeah, frame lock. Blade is it's got a lot of blade play in it actually, but you know, what can you expect? This is the knife I currently have on my keys. Haven't really changed it. I like the Chive a lot more. This is just a SOG key knife. It's really banged up just because the painting comes off easily. It was originally kind of a bluish color, you can still kind of see on there, but haven't really, honestly, I haven't even used it that much. Probably only used it like just a handful of times, and it's not really that good. Alright, so those were kind of my low-end knives, this whole bottom row, and we're kind of moving into the more high-end knives. At least high-end for my budget. I know some people spend like over $500 and stuff on a knife, and I just can't afford that right now. So yeah, moving into some of the more high-end knives. This one is a Spyderco Matriarch. I've yet to do a review on it. I got it somewhere around last September, maybe October, and this is just a pure self-defense knife. Haven't ever used it, which, you know, if you want me to do a review on this, let me know, but yeah, just a complete self-defense knife, never been used. It's got that reverse S curved hawkbill blade shape. Really nice. I've literally carried this like every single day since I got it, just in case. But I've never had to use it. Yeah, I've never had to use it, thankfully. Yeah, you can see the pocket clip's got a lot of wear on it. Let's see, next one is a Paramilitary 2. Everyone knows this knife. Just a no frills Paramilitary 2. Just a black G10, the compression lock. Then we have the, probably one of my favorite knives I have right now, the exclusive Knife Works Paramilitary 2 with the M4 steel and the carbon fiber handles. Yeah, the carbon fiber looks kind of like it's kind of got that texture. You see, it's kind of hard to catch in the light, but I got like a little bit of like stains and a slight patina on the knife. See, I got a couple of spots right up there. But yeah, I really like this knife. I love the M4 steel. And speaking of which, here is the M4 steel Gale Bradley 2. Let me wipe the blade down. Really like this knife a lot too. Just did a review on it. And you can see some of the stains that are already on the blade. But yeah, really sharp knife. I love the grind on this. It's just a really pretty knife. I think this would be a great hunting knife too. I don't know if I mentioned that in my review, but it'd be great for that. If you wanted something a little different than like a buck knife or something like that, which you know, if I'm hunting, I'd usually want like a folder. I mean, I wouldn't want a folder. I'd want more like a fixed blade or something, but that'd be kind of interesting to use. Let's see, next we have the, let's just finish all the Spydercos. Spyderco Sage, which is probably my favorite Spyderco knife. I mean, I kind of flip back and forth between this and the Paramilitary 2, though I think really, I might like this one the most. Really interested in getting the Sage, I think it's like the Sage 5. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting one of those with the compression lock. I wish the handles weren't like the carbon fiber on the Paramilitary 2. I wish they were more like this, because I love this exact knife, and if it had compression lock, I'd probably buy it, but I don't know how I feel about the carbon fiber. Or it'd be cool if they did like a colored carbon fiber, like the Domino. And yeah, speaking of which, this is probably one of my most expensive, over $200 Spyderco Domino with the red carbon fiber. Really pretty knife. Made in Taiwan. It's got the CTS XHP steel. A titanium frame lock. This is definitely one of the most prettiest Spydercos. And last are my Benchmade knives. This is probably like my favorite EDC knife I have, which is the, look at Lizzie, taking over my Sean. Now this is the Benchmade 940. Most of you know this knife. I really like how it looks. I think it's like one of the prettiest knives I own. I love the green aluminum handles. I think it feels really nice to me. It's very sleek and slender. I like how it doesn't really weigh much or doesn't take up room in my pocket. It's got the really pretty titanium purple backspacer. And the axis lock is just really fun to use. Reverse Tonto blade shape. I wanted to focus. It's got S30V steel, little butterfly logo up there. Look at the really thick tip on this. Really like that. Looks very kind of alien-like from the top. Very science fiction looking knife. I really like this one. Probably like one of my favorite ones next to the Spyderco Sage and the M4 Steel Paramilitary 2. And last but not least, we have a Benchmade Griptilian, and this was made using their custom knife maker program. So it has the horizontal sculpted G10, and it's like a forest green. It's not really showing up well in the light, but it is definitely a lot more like colored than that. It's kind of looking gray in the light. I got black hardware with the silver axis lock and the black standoffs. Then I got the split arrow parkerized clip. So I think this knife is a really pretty much everything I wanted out of the Griptilian. Made it a lot heavier though. It's a really big knife, but I don't mind it. I really like the Griptilian. So that's all my folders. So let's real fast go over my fixed blade. This one is the Buck Reaper. Very nice, thick knife for cutting trees and clearing little limbs off a trail or something. It's got the really cool like Grim Reaper on the handle. You can't really see it well. It's almost kind of like rubbed off by now. Kind of just looks like smoke and fog, but when I first got it, you could definitely see it kind of had like a little skeleton head right there. But yeah, this one's been through a lot. You can see the blade's really worn out. But yeah, I really like this knife. Here's a Buck Reaper. Keep that down there. We have another Buck, a really pretty one. This is the one I'd use more as a hunting knife rather than the Buck 110. But this one's the, I think it's the 105? Yeah, 105 Pathfinder. I really like this color scheme. I like the brass and the wood more than the, well, it's been in its sheath too long. But yeah, I like the brass and the wood a lot more than the black phenolic handles. Yeah, really good grip on this. Let me see, it also has that little swedge at the top. And it comes with this leather sheath, made in Mexico, really high quality. And it smells really nice too. Then we have the classic K-bar knife. Everyone knows this. USMC. Let's get the little leather sheath. Big belt loop. Made in Orleans, New York. Really comfortable handle. And this is just like an indestructible knife. Use this for a lot too. You can see it's got a lot of damage on it. Damage, you know, or wear, I guess would be the better term. Let's see. Next is one of my favorite fixed blade knives I own. This is a great, like, kind of camp knife or hunting knife or steak knife, as Ethan Becker would say. This is the BK15, a really cool knife. I'd love to get some like better handles for it, maybe strip the coating. I don't know. I kind of like the black on this one though. Hasn't really been used too hard though, but I definitely think this could take a lot of abuse. Yeah, one of my favorite knives I own, and very comfortable handle. Yeah, the K-Bar BK15, also made in Orleans, New York. And it's designed by Ethan Becker. And now another Ethan Becker knife. This is the BK9, which is probably the biggest knife I own. BK9, which is the combat bowie. And mine is customized to where it's, I stripped the coating off, which leaves this really cool kind of grungy look, especially when it patinas because it's made of carbon steel. So it looks really cool. It's kind of hard to show on film though. And I have some rosewood scales on it that I got from eBay. So yeah, really big, comfortable knife. Pretty light for how big it is. Definitely do like I'd like to do like a destruction test with this knife. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. And the last knife I own, last fixed blade at least, is the beautiful Buck 124 Frontiersman. The big leather sheath made in Mexico. 124 stamped on the back right there. It's just a really beautiful knife. It's got polished micarta handles. The silver on the bolsters just look really nice. Thick slab of 420 HC, and it is full tang. And really thick handles. Like, it actually feels really cool in your hand. It doesn't feel like it's going to slip out. It just feels like a really tough knife. I'd also like to do a destruction test with this knife to see how strong it is. But honestly, I haven't used this knife like at all. It hasn't been used, so I can't really, you know, give a proper review on it. But, you know, let me know if you want to see a review on it, and then we'll put it through some tests. But yeah, I haven't actually used this one much at all. Used this one a lot, and this one a lot, and the Buck Reaper. But yeah, just a really pretty knife, and it's kind of just sadly been sitting in my drawer for a couple months. Hasn't really been used. But yeah, a really pretty knife. So that concludes my knife collection video, and I guess I'll probably do another one of these maybe in next year, see how my knife collection's changed. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what's your favorite folder you have? Maybe what's your favorite fixed blade? Which one do you prefer? I don't know. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.